Welcome back. This is lesson 2 of week 10. In lesson 1, you learned about 2D lists and arrays. In this lesson, you're going to apply that understanding to create a variation of the Gorgatron program. So we'll start a new program and we'll create a new version of Gorgatron that uses 2D lists. So in this lesson, we'll start to create a new version of the Gorgatron game, which uses a 2D list to create a selection of monster profiles. So here's the first block of code in the 2D Gorgatron game. If you're my student, I'll provide you with this code. If you're not, you can easily just type it in. So this creates a 2D list of lists. The 2D list is called monsters. It has 3 sublists in it, and each sublist stores the information about a different monster. Each of the sublists contains the name of the monster as a string, and then 3 additional integers. The integers represent the strength, the speed, and the skill of each monster. So I suggest that you start up Python, pause this video, start up Python and enter these values, or if you're my student, find and open the program that I've written for you. Here's the next lot of code to add to the program. This code will print out the information about each monster. Remember, each monster profile is a sublist, and this program uses a for loop to count through all the sublists, printing out the full sublist. So this will list all the monsters together with their integer values. What if you just wanted to print out the name of each monster, only the name, not the integers? How would you adapt this code? Pause the video now, try entering the code as you see it here, and then adapting it so that you print out only the name of each monster. I'll show you how to do that in the next slide, so pause, try it for yourself, and then see if you got it right. So this is how we would adapt the code to show only the name of each monster. Name is the first item in each of the sublists, and because Python starts numbering at 0, the first item is element 0. So I've added square brackets 0 to the end of each print statement. So this will go through each of the sublists but print out only element 0 of each sublist. We can use this idea to print out whatever items we want from each of the sublists. So here's another example. Here we'll print out the monster's name and then the monster's skill. Can you think how you would adapt this to print out name and skill on the same line for each monster? In any case, try these versions of the program and explore what happens when you change the element numbers. You should be getting familiar now with using for loops to go through the sublists and element numbers to print out different elements from the sublists. Here's a bigger challenge. Here's some sample output from a more advanced version of the program. It prints out each of the monsters and it prints out a star version of their strength, speed and skill. We have done this before, but we've never done it with a 2D list. So see if you can create a program which prints out monster profiles as shown here. As an extension, you could ask the user to choose a combat feature, strength, speed or skill, and we could print out just that element for each monster. And here's the final part of this program. We can get the user to add new monsters to the list of monsters. They'll choose the name and the program will append random numbers to represent strength, skill, speed and skill. So this is a final set of code that you can add to the program. So I'm going to leave you with 3 slides worth of activities, and you should be able to find an activity at a level of challenge that is suitable for you. This is activity 1. Open the file 2D Gorgatron, which has the 2D list of lists. You can either open the version I've given you, or if you're not my student, you can type it in. Add code as I have shown you here that will print out the monster profiles. If you want the additional challenge, print out the profiles showing strength, skill and speed using asterisks. And add the code as I've shown you here that will let you add new monsters to the list. And then run the program to make sure that it works okay. That's a fairly straightforward activity. If you want extra challenge, I'm going to present you with 2 more slides worth of work to do. Here's the second activity. It's an extension of the Gorgatron activity. Continue to develop the file 2D Gorgatron. Add code so that the user can choose a monster from the list of monsters, and then add the combat function so that the user can select a weapon and a type of combat and fight against their chosen monster, and then again run the program to make sure that it's working properly. So if you're one of my students who's picked all this up quite quickly and wants additional challenges, let's use the 2D list idea to refine our telltale heart text analysis task that we've been working on for a few weeks. Create a 2D list of sublists. Each sublist will give the name of one of the words used in the text, followed by an integer which says how often that word occurs in the text. I'm not giving you any additional help. This is really a challenge for people who want some stretching programming work to do. And then create a text profile which will list each word in the text plus a graphical representation of its frequency, perhaps a number of stars or asterisks equivalent to the number of times that word occurs in the text. So I'm not giving you any help with that, but that is for people who have done everything else and want something that's a bit more advanced. Okay, so that will do for now, and I'll see you next lesson. Bye for now.